Hello my fellow degenerates, CookBoss88 here, and welcome to a very different kind of video. This is an idea that struck me one morning. I thought, you know what? I'ma go look under the belly of the beast and talk about the stranger side of the furry fandom. From my perspective, at least. To which leads me to a disclaimer. The purpose of this video is to shed light on certain personal preferences of certain people, and I give my opinions on each one of them. I would also like to point out that this video is not about shaming the aforementioned people. If you are here for that, please kindly leave this video. Now with that out of the way, let's start this off with our very first topic, which is actually a 3-for-1 topic if you can see it that way. Our first topic is micro and macrophilia and vor. To the uninitiated, microphilia is having to do with beings much smaller in size with respect to other characters. They are tiny, very tiny furries. The allure to it may be the feel of hopelessness or maybe just the sexual part of it. Micros are more closely related with all sorts of vor, from suppository to oral to urethral to God knows what else. For some people, it's the fear of a macro finding them, while for others, it may be the walls of death clenching around your whole body as you slide into a macro. That's kind of disturbing. Which leads us to the second part of this topic, the macros. Macro, also known as macro furry or furry giant, is as a first speak term used to describe any furry character who is larger than normal. Commonly anything starting above 50 feet. So basically, Macro Falco, that video where he violates an entire building. So yeah, that's pretty much a good example of that. So basically, these two things go hand in hand, respectively. Micro is the submissive to the macro. So far, that's how I understand it. With the subject of vor, though, from what I can observe, is in certain arts and comics, macro furs tend to be the one who ingests the micro. I don't know why, but I've read that the allure of vor comes from being eaten, or being the one who gets to eat an individual, or even just watching someone eat another person. I also found out that there is a system of other different types of vor. There's actually so much of it that if I try to analyze each one of them, we would be here all day. But the top ones that I found were urethral vor, suppository vor, hard vor, unbirthing, which I will not get into, please don't make me, and of course microvor, which is the topic that we just discussed. Up next is inflation, and no, I'm not talking about money inflation, okay? Inflation is the act of pumping or otherwise introducing pressurized air, gas, or fluid into an enclosed space in order to expand and increase its volume and size. There's not really much to this one other than what I can perceive as bigger assets the better, like bosoms, bellies, and genitalia. It's like this one art piece that I saw on DeviantArt a few years ago. I vaguely remember it as a fox or a wolf, and it was getting pumped by someone using very questionable liquids. Yeah, it's not as strange as vor, but the sight of an inflated wolf, furry, bloated, and ready to burst is still pretty strange to me. The side of what makes it enjoyable eludes me, and that's all I can say about that. Up next is pop fetishism. According to WIKI-FUR, pop fetishism has all the variability of a human foot fetish. Some fetishists only like clean paws, some dirty paws, some with socks, some mixed with shoe fetishism, etc. Macrophiles, similar to giant/giantess fetishists, are often fascinated by the intimidation and destruction done by giant paws belonging to a giant furry character. So again, this is pretty much just plain old foot fetishism, but with toe beans. I mean, yeah, I can kinda get that to an extent. Toe beans are adorable, but I wouldn't go so much as to let myself get crushed by one. I think I heard a furry YouTuber say it once in a video. Apparently they are called steppies, which is the act of stepping on someone's face. How anyone could find pleasure in that, I wouldn't know. Last but not least, our next topic for this video is baby furs. To me, out of all of the other topics that we have discussed, this to me is the strangest. A baby fur is a member of the furry fandom who enjoys role-playing as younger characters. They may also be an adult baby and or diaper lover or otherwise involved in infantilism. There are many types of furs in the baby fur community, each focusing on different aspects and roles. Like furry in general, baby fur culture involves a good amount of role-playing, either light or heavy, both online and in the real world. This is a demographic that I have come across a lot in my Reddit reading videos. There are certain reasons why baby furs are a thing. Escapism is what I immediately think of when I hear of this topic. Adult life can be stressful, and sometimes people would want to back out of that life and return to a time when life was still simple. From what I can see, there is nothing inherently sexual about baby furs unless it involves age play, which I won't be covering because it makes me uncomfortable. Don't make me, please. But right down to the very core of baby furs, from my opinion at least, they are just people who roleplay as infants. It's strange, yes, but it's not harmful. Do I think it's cringe? Kinda, but it's their thing. Just like everything that we have discussed in this video. My fellow degenerates, this is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Follow me on Twitter, chat with me on Discord, and support me on Ko-fi. My Ko-fi link is in the description below. This has been your fellow degenerate CookBoss88, and I will leave you with a message. Every single one of us has a certain kind of weirdness that sets us apart from others. People like different things, people do hobbies that seems to be a deviation from the norm. But at the end of the day, if that thing or hobby that seems to be abnormal is harmless and won't affect your life in any way, shape, or form, then the best you can do is keep your head down and ignore it. And to the people who dare to deviate from the norm, keep being you. Keep doing what you love and keep enjoying your life as much as you want. So long as it doesn't involve fiddling kids and violating animals. See ya!